Hello students, in this video we look into identities of irrational numbers and how we use those identities to solve irrational problems. So let us first list down the various identities of irrational numbers. The first identity is square root of AB is equal to square root of A into square root of B. And you can put a dot over here or you can put a cross over here. It means the same. It means that the two irrational numbers are multiplied under the same head. Okay, this is square root of A equal to, which means effectively if we say, if we have square root of 15, sorry, not square root of 15, square root of 5 dot 3. This can be written as square root of 5 into square root of 3. Alright, so that is what it means by square root of AB is equal to square root of A into square root of B. We'll take the next one, which says square root of A upon B can be written as square root of A upon square root of B. The example of this would be square root of 5 upon 3, which can be written down as square root of 5 upon square root of 3. Then we'll take the next one, that is the third one, which says square root of A plus square root of B in brackets multiplied with another bracket square root of A minus square root of B, and this is equal to A minus B. Square root of A plus square root of B is equal to square root of A minus B. So if we take it in terms of the brackets, it will be like square root of 5 plus square root of 3 into square root of 5 minus square root of 3. This will give us 5 minus 3, which obviously will be equal to 2. The fourth identity is square A plus square root of B in brackets multiplied by, in brackets again, A minus square root of B. This will become A square minus B. So an example of this would be 5 plus square root of 3 into 5 minus square root of 3, and this will give us 5 square minus 3, which is nothing but 25 minus 3, and that will give us 22. Then our last identity is square root of A plus square root of B the whole square. Okay, square root of A plus square root of B the whole square. In this case it will become A plus 2 root A into root B plus B. That is the final identity. Now this term can also be written as 2 root AB plus B. Okay, since we are writing over here root AB is equal to root A into root B, we can also write root A into root B as just 2 into root AB. Okay, so once again, if you have an example over here, this would be square root of 5 plus square root of 3 whole square, that would give us 5 plus 2 square root of 5 into 3 plus 3, so that would become 8 plus 2 root 15. So I hope you have understood from here the various identities that we need to use. I will be using these identities to solve some problems in this video. So our first identity we'll look to solve is square root of a plus square root of b into square root of a minus square root of b. So in order to solve this problem, we have to multiply each term with this entire bracket. Okay, so let us do that. So we'll take square root of a, I'm taking this one, and multiplying it with this entire bracket, which is square root of a minus square root of b. Then there is a plus sign, so I put a plus sign over here, and I multiply square root of b into this entire bracket. So that is square root of a minus square root of b. Let us see what we get. Square root into square root, the square root sign goes off. So what we are left with just a. So in multiply and show it to you. So square root of a into square root of a can be written as a dot a. Okay, or a multiplied by a. Square root of a into minus square root of b will give us minus sign outside, and this will become a dot b. Then plus sign over here, square root of b into a will give us square root of a dot b again, and square root of b into minus square root of b, which will be minus sign outside, and b into b, so that will be b dot b. So a dot a can be written as a square minus a root square root of a into b plus square root. So these are like terms, but these are opposite signs, so these get cancelled. So we are left with just minus b square, square root of b square. Now the square sign cancels out with the square root sign, and you are left with just a minus b. So that is how you get this identity, which is equal to a minus b. Got it? We'll go to the next identity. Our next identity is a plus square root of b into a minus square root of b. Once again we do the same thing, that is we multiply each term into the entire bracket. So a into a minus square root b plus square root of b into a minus square root of b. So then what do we get? Let us multiply the terms. A into a will give you a square, a into minus root b will give us minus a root b, then plus sign, root b into a will give us a root b, square root of b into minus square root of b, so we'll get a minus sign here, and we'll get b square here. A square remains the way it is, no sign change over here, but these are same terms but opposite signs, so they cancel out, and we are left with a minus sign, and square and square root cancels out, and we are left with b. So we get this equal to a square minus b. So this is our next identity. That's how we get this identity. Move to the last identity. Next one is square root of a plus square root of b is a whole square. So this whole square means that this entire bracket is repeated one more time. So square root of a plus square root of b in brackets into square root of a plus square root of b. Okay, that is what it means. So this is as good as saying if you take one entire term as a into a, so we can call this as a square. So same thing is happening over here. So we have now expanded this term. Now in this case, same thing, we multiply each term with the bracket, square root of a plus square root of b plus square root of b into square root of a plus square root of b. Let us see what we get. Square root of a into square root of a will get square root of a square. Square root of a into square root of b will get square root of ab, plus square root of b into square root of a will get square root of ab, plus square root of b into square root of b will get square root of b square. Square and square root cancels, we get a plus, these are same terms, and this time the signs are not opposite but the same. So this is as good as saying 1 square root of AB plus 1. So 1 plus 1 gives you what? 2. 2 square root of AB. For addition, the terms need to be the same, or the numbers need to be the same. And over here, square and square root cancels to give you B. And that's how we get this equal to A plus 2 square root of AB plus B. Got it? Okay, so not so difficult. Just be careful of the square root of signs and what you add or subtract, as we learned in the previous video. Okay, so let us solve a few problems using these identities. Our first problem is 3 plus square root of 3, the whole thing multiplied by 2 plus square root of 2. Okay, so over here it does not fall into one of our identities because the terms over here are different. For there's no A, there's no B. Okay, there are 4 different terms in fact. 3 plus root 3, 2 plus root 2. So what we'll do in this case, we'll just multiply each term with the entire bracket. So as we have done, as I've shown you how we have got those identities. So 3 into 2 plus square root of 2 plus square root of 3 into this entire bracket, that is 2 plus square root of 2. What we get? 3 into 2 is 6. 3 into 2 root 2, 3 into root 2 can be written as 3 root 2 plus root 3 into 2 can be written as 2 root 3, and root 3 into root 2 can be written as plus root 3 dot 2. So this is 6. We'll continue. Now this can be written as 3 into 2 will continue as 3 root 2 plus 2 root 3 plus root 6. Got it? So this is our final answer. We cannot add 3 root 2 and 2 root 3 or root 6. We cannot add this term and this term because the number square root is different. It is square root of 2 and this is square root of 3. Addition or subtraction between them is not possible. But if this was 2 root 2, then yes, we could have added it. Like for example, if this was if this was square root of 3 square root 2 plus 2 square root 2, then yes, 3 plus 2 we could have added that as 5 square root 2 because the irrational number is the same. But when the irrational numbers are not the same, we cannot add or subtract. Remember that thing. We can multiply, we can go in for a division, but we cannot add or subtract over here. So this is our answer for this question. Let's move to the next question. Next one says 3 plus root 3 into 3 minus root 3. Now this comes in an identity form, which is you need to learn to identify the identity. So this is in this form, a plus root b into a minus root b, and the answer for this is what? A square minus b. So similarly the answer for this will be a square. A is this, 3 is a. So a square minus b. B is what? Square root of 3. So we can say b is 3, not square root. B is 3. So over here it will be 3. There is no square root sign. Have a look over here. We had square roots of those numbers. B is the number inside the square root, which is 3. So we are left with just 3, that is b in this case. So now what we need to do is expand. 3 square is nothing but 9. 9 minus 3 is 6. Okay, so our answer for this problem is 6. The next problem is square root of 5 plus square root of 2, the whole thing raised to 2. That means it's a square root of a plus square root of b the whole square. What was square root of a plus square root of b the whole square? It was a plus 2 square root of ab plus B. Similarly, we'll have to write this over here. What is A over here? 5. So we write this 5 plus 2 into square root of A into B plus B. B is what? 2. So put over here. So 5 and 2 are rational numbers, so we can add them. So we'll get 7. 7 plus 2, 5 into 2 is 10. 7 plus 2 root 10 is our identity answer. So identities make solution of problems very easy, but you need to learn those identities and learn to identify identities in the form of problems. Let's move to our last question. So the question is square root of 5 minus square root of 2, the whole thing into square root of 5 plus square root of 2. So this is in this form, square root of A plus square root of B into square root of A minus square root of B, and what we get is equal to A minus B. Alright, so similarly over here we can just write this as, what is A? 5. Okay, so 5 and B is what? And A minus B, right? So minus B is 2. Answer is 3. Right? So you don't have to actually multiply and get them. You just have to write the identity and you will be able to get the answer. So simple it was. So with this we end with multiplication problems. Next we move to rationalizing the denominators where irrational numbers are concerned. Thank you for watching the video.